Hello everyone and welcome to a video that I honestly never thought I'd be able to make, talking about the recent announcement for the Record of Ragnarok anime. So, just saying that out loud has put a big smile on my face. I got into the series a little over a year ago with Amias's Adam vs. Zeus video, um, and as far as I have seen, it has, at least as far as I understand, more of like a cult following, especially in the West, or at least the English-speaking West. I know it's huge in like the Latin-speaking anime community, and over the last, I want to say, 6 to 8 months, maybe longer, it's been doing really, really well in the Oricon sales. But for some reason, I was just never sure we would get an anime adaptation. So yesterday, which just so happened to be my birthday, not only did we get an announcement for an anime, not only did we get a reveal of character models, not only did we get a reveal of the cast and production staff, we also got a fucking teaser trailer for it. So, I'm not going to be discussing a bunch of news and information. I'm sure you guys can all look that up on your own. I'll probably include some of it here on the screen. But for this video, I'm just going to be talking about my general thoughts and first impressions on this. I have had a little bit of time to sort of mull things over, see what other people were saying about it, maybe get some other perspectives on it, um, before doing this video. So, overall, I'm fairly happy. I had feared much fucking worse. I was afraid that we would get, like, god-awful animation or CGI. I know I've talked multiple times in the past about how CGI not necessarily being bad, but I think CGI has to be for certain... Like, CGI really only works with certain art styles. If it's going to be all CGI, like with Dorohedoro, yeah, that's why I don't think it really worked well for Kengan Ashura. Like, when you look at the art from Kengan Ashura, and then you look at the anime, it's just like, wow, we have lost, like, all of the quality here. I think it only works for certain art styles, and I don't think that Record of Ragnarok has that art style. So it's good to see that it's seemingly all traditional 2D animation. I think if there was any way that CG would work, it would be sort of like a UFO table CGI thing. You know how they just do it for backgrounds with stuff like Demon Slayer and the Fate series. That would probably work, but it seems like they're doing it all 2D. One thing I'm like not super sure about is the changing in the art style for the characters. Like, if you just look at the character models, a lot of them look very different from how they look in the manga. The art style is just totally different from the art style that the author or the artist uses. I actually don't know if it's written and drawn by the same person, but whatever. I think Ajachika is her name. It's very different from her style. Which, like, I mean, I would prefer if it was closer to the manga art style, but what's really weird is in some shots it looks much more similar to the manga art style, and in others it looks completely different. And the overall, for the most part, the change in the art style makes the characters look a lot more generic, which, I mean, is much better than them looking like shit, but they look much more generic. I think the character models and I guess the coloring, it reminds me a lot of something that would come out in like the mid to late 2000s, early 2010s, if you understand what I'm saying here. It looks different from what I expected, but not bad. I think it looks pretty alright. The animation at some points is a little stiff in my opinion, but when I think back on what it is, maybe that's just because of the shots they were using, because we do see in various points they are able to do like quite a bit of motion. So I'm hoping this isn't the final product, because if it is the actual final product, I'm gonna be like, I don't know if you can hear my dog fucking whining outside my door. She needs to shut up. If this is the final product, I'm gonna be like, well, okay. But I think this isn't coming out until like the summer, so I think they have plenty of time to still do more work on it. It really depends on like how far into production they are with this. I don't know if this is a rare occurrence for them to announce an anime, reveal like all of the information for it, and then come out with a teaser on the same day. I'm pretty sure that's normally not a common occurrence, at least not if they're not very far into production. Um, if it comes out in the summer, that means we're still at least 6 months away from it, which, I mean, is still plenty of time to sort of smoothen out the animation, sort of fix any issues with it. So, as long as they're not done working on the animation, I think it's going to be fine. Um, I do quite like the OST that they use in there. I'm assuming that's the opening, like the song they had in there. Maybe. I don't know. It depends. Probably the last trailer will have the opening. But if that OST that they used in the teaser is like kind of the vibe we're going to get for most of the OSTs, that's a good sign. Because that was a really fucking good track to use for like a Ragnarok trailer. I think that really goes well with the vibe of the series. And apparently, the guy doing the OSTs is the same person that made the soundtrack for Naruto, which, I mean, I haven't watched Naruto, but I've heard some of the tracks from Naruto, and they're pretty good, so I think that's a good sign. Um, the production company working on the anime is Graphinica, which I had never actually heard before. They're not one of the big names that works on a lot of, like, super popular stuff right now, like Bones or Mappa or UFO Table, so I had to look them up. And lo and behold, they just so happened to be the company that worked on the last 3 episodes of Hellsing Ultimate and The Dawn, which was like an extra OVA thing, which is a really fucking good sign. Even if you don't think that they did as good of a job as Madhouse on the previous episodes, I mean, just go back and watch the last 3 episodes of Hellsing Ultimate. They're still really fucking well animated, so I'm fairly confident. I've also seen a few clips of other anime that they've worked on, and it looks like they're a fairly talented studio, so I'm pretty confident that when we get the final product, it's more likely than not that we're going to have a, at the very least, pretty good animated adaptation. So, the stuff in the trailer didn't impress me too much, but it didn't make me worried. And seeing the other work that this production company has done, I'm like pretty optimistic about it. I think it'll turn out pretty alright. As far as I understand, it's not an OVA. Um, it must have been like a month and a half ago already. I was on one of Griever's streams and we were discussing what would be the best way for them to adapt Record of Ragnarok. And we were like, oh yeah, probably OVAs done by the company that produced Hellsing Ultimate. Lo and behold, it just so happens to be one of the companies that produced Hellsing Ultimate. But it seems like this is going to be an actual full season of the anime, not OVAs, which is fine. I mean, I'm not going to complain about getting more of it in a shorter span of time. I assume, because it's a monthly series, and by the time the anime comes out, we'll probably only be not done with round 6 yet. This is probably going to be one of those animes that gets a season like every 2 or 3 years, like at the very least, just because you have to wait so long for more content to come out. And I don't think this is going to turn into like an anime-only series. That would be nuts. That'd be fucking, I don't know, and is that even a thing that happens? Yeah, so I think for this first season, we're probably going to get the first 4 rounds, and then probably just do like every 4 rounds for a season after that. Which means the second season would come out in like another 2 or 3 years after this, which is not bad. I mean, just hopefully it's good. I think, honestly, Adam vs. Zeus, like, a lot of crazy shit happens in it, but I think as long as you're able to draw really fast motion, it'll probably be fine. Like, just do some fucking JoJo shit. Like, JoJo Attack Rush stuff. That's, like, 90% of Adam vs. Zeus. So, as long as they're capable of animating that well, I mean, Adam vs. Zeus is going to turn out really well. I'm just curious as to what all of the fights are going to look like in motion. I know we kind of imagine it, because Ajichika is very good at portraying motion in non-moving stills. So finally seeing it in action is going to be quite the experience. and I just hope it matches our expectations. And with that, that's really all I have to say. If you enjoyed this video, please be sure to like, comment, subscribe, and click that notification bell so you don't miss any of my uploads. I do Record of Ragnarok chapter reviews every month, and once round 5 ends, I'm going to be coming out with a video ranking the first 5 rounds from worst, quote-unquote, to best. So if you're interested in that, you should definitely subscribe so you don't miss it when it comes out. If you're interested in other series such as Jujutsu Kaisen, Chainsaw Man, and Kengan Omega, I do videos on those series as well. So if you're interested in those, you should definitely check out my channel. If you enjoy discussing Record of Ragnarok with other people, or you just enjoy the content I produce on this channel, I highly suggest you check out my Discord server. I have a link to it on my channel. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you around.